Hello everyone, and welcome to the MSBA Legislative Report for April 1st. We're very pleased you could join us for this update on legislative issues. And joining us as always from our offices in Jefferson City is MSBA's Associate Executive Director for Advocacy, Mike Reed. And Mike, legislators were back from spring break this week, and the pace is really picking up, isn't it?
Oh, yes, they were back. It was nice to have a week off when they were not here, so we get other things done. But they were back, and they hit the ground running, and it's been a very, very busy week this week.
Mike, let's talk about the budget first of all. And the House has approved its version of the state budget for the new fiscal year beginning July 1st. Tell us about that.
Yes, they have. The funding is flat for school districts, but it's approximately the same as we got last year, and so it's moving forward. The big problem is going to come in the Senate because there is still some federal money that came in that we've talked about before. The $189 million that is now in the supplemental budget, and it moves between the supplemental budget and the regular budget, and that $189 million is being held up by a group of senators who believe that the federal debt is too high and really want to send the money back. We've had conversations with the leader of that group. His statement to me was, I don't want to hurt education at all. My statement to him was, I just don't see where we can take the money from the budget if you don't take it from education. So it's going to be a really interesting time. It's anticipated that the Senate will start working, they'll start working on their budget again some more this coming week, maybe have it to the floor in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the latest. They have until the first weekend in May to pass the budget. So time is short.
All right, so the flat funding for the formula is still very much in jeopardy at this point, it sounds like.
Well, it is. We're quite concerned about this, and we'll keep our members informed of what is going on and how they need to contact their senator. We are happy with the House's budget, and we hope that the Senate will work out their differences and make sure that the budget gets passed and the formula stays flat.
And Mike, we had a voucher bill move this week out of committee. What's that all about?
Yes, out of Senator Jane Cunningham's bill. It's a combination of two of her bills, Senate Bill 369 and 370. It is a voucher bill designed for students in St. Louis City. Senator Cunningham calls it her Turner fix, a fix to the question of the Turner case out of St. Louis City. But it is, in fact, a true voucher bill with kids being able to take the money and go to either public or private schools in the area. We have great concerns with it because it's a voucher bill, also because we believe that it violates the Blaine Amendment to the Constitution, and it just is an unconstitutional piece of legislation. We'll see where it goes in the Senate. It has come out. We'll see what the discussion is on the Senate floor.
Another bill that had some debate on the Senate floor this week, Mike, was Senate Bill 242, which is a bill that really kind of opens the door to open enrollment in the state, doesn't it? Yes,
it does. It is an open enrollment bill. It talks about students who have difficulties in when the school district that they live in, that the school building in the next district is closer than the one in their own district, and it talks about time on travel and et cetera. But in fact, it is an open enrollment bill, and there was a lot of discussion and a partial filibuster in the Senate concerning this.
Let's take a look at some of the debate on the Senate floor on that bill if we could, Mike. This is the bill's sponsor, Senator Jane Cunningham, explaining her bill on the Senate floor.
Basically, the only difference in this bill and what DESE presently does is it allows the implementation at the local district rather than coming up to the State Board of Education, and it clarifies the distance in travel that presently is being used. It requires that parents pay for the transfer and transportation, which presently now it's the sending district, but it requires parents to do that if they so change. And it restricts the transfer to allow districts to make a hiring decision. It restricts it to a time period where a district can more fully plan around that transfer.
So that's Senator Jane Cunningham, the bill's sponsor, explaining the bill on the Senate floor, and Senator Victor Callahan from Independence, the Senate Minority Leader, also spoke about the bill on the Senate floor, raising some concerns. Let's take a look at his comments now.
But what I could see is a circumstance where you have parents wanting their students to go to a better performing district. And then I'm the receiving district. And one morning I wake up in August when school begins, and I suddenly have 240 brand new students that I didn't contemplate that came from less performing academically districts. And now when I do my tests and all of the methodology that DESE has for my district, is there the potential with this that you actually drag down the good performing district because they have taken on these students from less performing districts? And what I mean is in the boundary change with Kansas City, that was contemplated, it was provided for, it was after an election, we knew how many students. Under your bill, where is the certainty and surety of how many students? Is it going to be 1? Is it going to be 250? Is it going to be 75? And do you see what I'm saying?
And Mike, Senator Callahan makes some good points, doesn't he, about the implications of this bill?
Yes, he does. It's my understanding Senator Callahan also has several amendments out there if this bill comes back, but he made some excellent points, and he led a very good discussion with several other senators, Senator David Pierce, Senator Will Kraus, in discussing this piece of legislation. I think it'll come back again, but I don't think it has a lot of support in the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Also, Mike, we saw some movement this week on a charter schools bill moving out of committee. What is that bill all about?
Yes, that came out of Senator Pierce's Education Committee, and it's Senator Pierce's bill as along with Senator Keaveney's bill and Senator Wright Jones's bill dealing with charter schools. The main part of that bill says that charter schools expanded into the state of Missouri, no new charter schools can be expanded without the support of and be chartered under the local elected school board. That, in fact, is our resolution, and it's a vehicle to discuss what is happening both there and in the House. The charter school bills are, there is some movement on it. It's a good question what's going to happen in the future, but that is a bill out there for discussion.
So, Mike, as you said, that bill is pretty consistent with MSBA's resolution on the issue, but there are some other charter schools bills being discussed that we have some concerns about, aren't there?
Yes, there are, and we're trying to put our resolutions in those bills, and we're at the table trying to do some negotiation. We'll see what happens.
Another bill that was debated on the Senate floor this week, Mike, has to do with the foundation formula. Senator Pierce has a bill to make some modifications in the formula because the state has not been able to fully fund the phase-in of the so-called new formula as it was originally envisioned. And tell us about that debate.
That's correct. This was to change the phase-in to actually end the phase-in and quit the proration factors and just move ahead. However, two senators who represent hold harmless districts were very upset with this because they believe their districts and would receive less money. And so this is the problem that is coming in now, the question between the hold harmless and the non-hold harmless districts, and how should the money be divided. There is only there is just a pot, and it doesn't seem like it's growing. So this is an ongoing question. There was, as I said, a filibuster on this bill. It will probably come back again with some more discussion and some more negotiations. We'll just have to see where it's going to go.
And Mike, we're really heading into the home stretch of the legislative session now. What can we expect in the coming week?
6 weeks, 6 weeks and counting. We can expect an awful lot of work besides the education issues. The state still has to look at redistricting, which will be a big part. They're looking at tax credits and how should those be treated. All of our education bills, a question on whether or not there is we can look at the Turner decision and make sure that students are educated as they should be, and that students in the county districts surrounding the city of St. Louis, those districts will not be overcome and overcrowded by students. The budget is going to be a large discussion. We'll look at expansion of charter schools. We'll look at the tenure question. It's still out there. There's a good question on what happens with that. It may be just a study. There are a tremendous number of issues that are out there concerning schools and the education of our kids in the state of Missouri, our students. it's going to be a really, really fast 6 weeks. And I appreciate all of the help that our districts do. And you will be receiving emails from us as things come on the floor very quickly. And we need you to contact your state representative and state senator and tell them how their actions are affecting the students in your district.
All right, Mike Reed, as always, thanks very much for joining us from Jefferson City. And as Mike mentioned, we will be doing our best to keep you up to date on legislative activities as the legislature heads toward adjournment in mid-May. You can keep up to date, of course, through the Legislative Voice newsletter that you receive every Friday, through the daily Capitol Watch blog posted on our website, and of course, we will be sending critical issue alerts through emails as issues arise and we need immediate action from you, contacting your legislators on particular issues as they work their way through the remainder of the 2011 legislative session. Thanks for joining us on this edition of MSBA's Legislative Report.